in the house.
Okay. All right, get ready. Get ready to move. Let's start this shit.
Yeah.
And the shit is started. This is a pilot episode for a podcast. I'm Matt Kona. Not my real name,
Jay.
James Creelman.
Hey.
And I am inside, dressed like I'm outside. You are outside, dressed like you're outside in a different season.
Mm-hmm.
But we're
It's crazy,
recording
man.
this.
Boston hardcore.
Oh, I get it. You dressed up like hardcore styles because oftentimes at hardcore shows, people would wear fucking sweatshirts with t-shirts over them in an unventilated hot room for moshing.
Woman's hood, kid.
Or moshing purposes, I guess. Or really for
This is
style.
the hood to a coat, but without the coat.
Oh, okay. So it's not under your shirt. So you are
No. True
you are
Boston
very
hardcore
creative.
style.
Come on. I've been to many shows, not for quite some time, but never have I seen someone wearing just a hood. But that is a fucking game changer because it has the look that you're wearing, maybe a hoodie that you cut the sleeves off of.
Hell yeah.
It
But you
looks
keep cool.
tougher.
Yeah. Keep cool and you look
Right.
cool. So.
Yeah. But then you should have definitely cut the sleeves off the t-shirt to complete the look. So, I mean, whatever.
I'm kind of new to this.
I think yeah. What if someone cut off the sleeves of a long sleeve sweatshirt to make it just t-shirt sleeves? I think that would look way sillier than just sleeves off. But
That would look good. Yeah.
good.
It would be like up high wristbands.
Yes. I was hanging out with mutual friend and past podcast live YouTube broadcast partner John Paul Rivera last night. We were watching some punchies
Mm-hmm.
UFC on Fox, and he asked me, because there's a lot of different short styles people wear, which would I choose that Reebok forces you to wear. And I would choose there's short spandex that look like boxer briefs kind of, but then there's what looks like long for no reason spandex shorts, like jean short lengths but above the knee. So I think I would choose those so I could make headbands out of it. I could cut them shorter and then just have free headbands and beanie hats.
You'd save a lot of money that way.
Yes. Speaking of money saving, the reason that I proposed this podcast to James and his menagerie of birds is that what kind of birds are those, by the way?
I don't see any birds, bro.
But do you hear birds? You hear the birds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you identify them by the sound? I mean, I assume you were broadcasting at a familiar location.
Right now you hear a dove, right? This is the
Uh,
hardcore palace I'm broadcasting from.
Yo, this is what it feels like when doves chirp.
Yeah.
Now, not a hardcore band, but a punk band worth noting, fronted by current comedian and podcaster Ken Reed, 30 Seconds Over Tokyo. He told me that they played a show somewhere in New York, upstate New York, I think, where they didn't go out to very often. They mostly played around New England. And a white power band opened for them, or was an earlier band on the show. So how they responded to it was doing a set of all Prince covers.
That sounds fun.
When Doves Cry reminded me of that.
There's a movie called Green Room that has a similar scene where they're playing like a white power place and they kind of mess with them. And I highly recommend that movie. It's great.
Well, I would love to have taken you up on that recommendation. I had the chance to see either that or the new Key and Peele movie, with the cat, the kitty cat.
Yeah. Keanu.
Yeah. Keanu. And my friend Greg Pavarnik he wasn't swayed. He wanted to see. I mean, he did ask if I wanted to go see Keanu, and then I was like, "Oh, this is also playing. We should see this instead." But
Hmm.
we didn't.
You
But
should
I
have went
will
to see.
see it. I know.
Should have went
I,
to see both at the same time.
yeah. Okay. I'll see it, but let's split up. I mean, we're not gonna be talking to each other during the
No, no,
movie
no, 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 no.
anyway.
You go to
So.
one. What I do is a little trick. I go to see one movie, and then when the movie gets out, you go into the other one without paying. But then I sometimes feel bad, so what I do is I take money out of my wallet and I throw it on the ground.
What?
Yeah. Well, you don't want to, otherwise it's stealing. But like if you don't have time to go get the second ticket,
Yeah.
or like put it where they'll find it, like in the trash or maybe in like the bottom of a
What?
popcorn.
They're not gonna find it in the trash. Have you
No.
seen people? I mean, obviously, all right. This is a conversation that I do want to talk about because I enjoy this. I haven't done this in a long time, and I have never just left my money places. I justify it by occasionally buying overpriced snacks and qualifying it as such, saying, "Well, the snacks are so expensive, and that's what they're making the most money off of
Mm-hmm.
at this theater location anyway." So I'll do that. But this is something that I used to do all the time. I would go and see three. My record is 4 movies at
Okay.
once. I
I'm
would
at 5.
start at 5. Wow.
Yeah. Mm.
I think I had a gig. So we're being interrupted by the super furry animals for some reason.
Oh.
Can you hear that? Sorry about that. Okay. Well, a ghost just press play on an open tab I had
Huh.
for a band called Super Furry Animals that I'm hoping to see tonight in Cambridge at the Sinclair. Not that this is being broadcast live, but or they need plugging by me based on whatever.
What are
Very
they,
easily
hard rockers?
sidetracked. They're
Like a cock rock band?
nah, it's hard to describe. They're called Super Furry Animals,
Mm-hmm.
and they're from Wales. They're
Oh.
Welshmen,
Okay.
and they play rock but weird variations. I don't know. They're kind of like a Radiohead if they knew how to have fun.
Oh. Okay.
Pre
So
electronic.
you were talking about sneaking into the movies. You saw 4
Oh
movies.
yes, and I have a story. I've only told it on stage a couple times. I'm not gonna tell it on podcast right
Mm-hmm.
now, but I felt like it was karma biting me in the ass in a way because a homeless man masturbated into my hair during the
Oh.
fourth and final movie.
Oh wow. So that was the grand finale.
Yeah. So it cumulated
You don't
into
want that in
that.
the
And
first movie for sure.
oh no, that would be annoying because
Right.
you would have to have it in your hair for the entire time just to get your money's
What?
worth. And
Okay, so how did this actually happen?
all right, well, I wasn't completely sure. I thought he maybe have spit on me or something at first. So the fourth movie was a movie that I didn't even know existed. It was just starting at the right time. Now, do you do pre-scouting on the websites to see the starting time of the next movie?
Yes, I do. And I have a thing where like I look to see if the movie is something I would be interested in and also got like okay reviews, but I don't like watching trailers because I feel it like ruins like what the whole movie is. But
I
anyway, so
agree.
yes,
That's good. Then.
I do kind of scout it out and have a plan on what ones to go to.
Yeah, cool. I don't like watching trailers either, and I also factor in that there's going to be at least 15 minutes of trailers
Hmm.
for the movie. So if it says 12 o'clock start time and the other movie doesn't get out until 12:10, I know I'm good. So, but this movie I didn't even know existed. It was Jennifer Lewis and Jason Statham, and it was a decent movie. And the incident happened near the end of it, so I didn't get up and confront or be like, "Yo, what the fuck?" Until the movie was over because it was a packed theater on a Saturday, and I don't want to ruin everyone's experience with whatever the fuck just happened to me. Um, but I'm pretty sure that a homeless guy, because he had a blanket over his lap, and I tried to snatch it away from him, and I think that he had his dick out underneath it, and he was with another homeless guy, and it was the winter time, so it's smart for the homeless to go do what us cheap pricks do for movies, and but I told it on stage. The people in the theater didn't know what the fuck was going on. This entire theater is emptying out, and it just looks like a homeless people fighting over a blanket, which is not a good look.
Right, but you weren't fighting for the blanket. You wanted proof of that hard cock.
Yeah, well, I didn't think it was hard anymore because a few minutes had gone by.
Right, but yeah.
Right.
You were hoping it was
I
still loaded with at least a little bit of juice.
Yeah. I mean, in my head, I
In
took
all
a few
honesty,
steps.
right?
I didn't want to see any juice. Listen, I told the usher, who is this poor bastard, cleaning up popcorn, looking for $7, 5 and 2 1s left by someone that felt bad about sneaking into it in a popcorn, as most ushers do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like that fucking guy I think is jerking off. And then I just left because I mean, whatever. I'm not a strong person, but I do get flashes of violence and spite in my head from my Irish genes. And I wanted to punch this dude in the fucking face, but I knew that would lead to my arrest, and then I would have missed my set at Grandma's basement that night and my opportunity to talk about being masturbated on by a homeless guy. So, there you
but
go.
like, that's kind of a powerful stream going if it's going to go over the. Was your hair like kind of dangling in his lap? Maybe he liked that a little bit.
I think in my head, because I came in late to the movie. The movie had started a minute or two before. I think he thought that I was a female because of my long, luxurious locks. I mean, I'll just turn around, just turn my back on you, and you just start jerking off and tell me what to turn around.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
I mean,
sweet.
My shirt was also off too, so. But yeah.
And you were wearing perfume. You used to do that back in those days.
No perfume.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to talk about the Boston hardcore things?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's talk about Boston hardcore things because.
Okay, so I don't know much about Boston hardcore, but I did buy a bunch of cassette tapes, mostly demos, but also some like LPs and 7-inches and stuff. And I went through and listened to them and kind of wrote down some things, but like it was months ago, so I forget some things.
Okay, well here's the thing. I have a lot of shit. I have a lot of stuff, and one of the things that I didn't have a few months ago was a day job. So I was trying to sell some of my collections of music, mostly punk. And it's interesting because you and I grew up in similar but different circles of young music fans. And fucking birds are chirping up a storm. Where's your gun, James? Shouldn't you know?
Hey, that's okay. People like the sound of birds.
Yeah, it makes them feel tranquil, I guess. So birds were also used in a lot of hardcore and punk,
middle fingers
designs. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, I love it.
Like to authority. I'm not going to do it, but you can imagine if one of those was up. I'm not going to say which one, but
yeah. But it's like
up high, like one of those.
Yeah. I mean, if you recreated it now, it would have less power than right after the
like in the
singer
face
of
of
the band
authority,
says,
right?
Yeah. Or in the face of kids that were stage, or a bouncer that's prohibiting kids from stage dive.
Or like just like posers in the audience. So like the guy the elderly man who owns the VFW.
Yeah.
And his wife.
Fuck you for not letting us punch holes in the wall.
Right. Okay, so can I start showing off some stuff?
Wait. Yeah, wait a minute. Why is have you been to a VFW that's owned by an old man and his wife? Aren't they government building? All right, whatever.
No, they're not government buildings.
Well, they're veterans of foreign wars, right?
Yeah, but they have like a guy who like owns the thing. It's like any bar.
Really?
Yeah,
So I could buy a
it's not like owned
VFW
by the
having
government.
never.
Huh?
No, I didn't think it was owned. I didn't think it was necessarily owned by the government. I meant they had some region of like. That's why they have post numbers on them. So there's like one big group, and they say, all right, every however many cities has a VFW, and it's run by the board and not an old man and his wife. But I guess someone has to be there working the mops and making sure it's filled up. That'll be episode 2, our research into VFW ownership. And maybe that's what this podcast can ultimately culminate with.
So a lot of like after hardcore shows, the bands they would throw Hawaiian Punch at the elderly owners. They would go, "We're punk," and they would throw Hawaiian Punch on their face.
Yeah. What was talk about your experience? The first time you ever went to a VFW did you go to one before you went to punk shows, and the first time seeing a punk show at a VFW?
Oh God, I don't remember. Probably I was in the band playing, and we would have to like rent them, and yeah, and I don't know. It would be tough. Like I remember one time there was like a small parking lot, so people were just parking in people's driveways, and like this one person got really mad, and they're like, "Here's $10," and they're like, "Oh, okay, fine." And yeah, one time we played in our hometown with the band Smacking Isaiah, who became a Wilhelm Scream, and like hardly anyone showed up, and we're like, "You're missing the best thing ever." Like this is happening for 15 people. I hate everyone.
That was your hometown VFW. That show happened in.
Yeah, Smithfield, Rhode Island, and I think we were the only ones to ever have a show there. And they were like, "Nope, never happening again."
Really?
Yeah.
Even though it was only 15 people, it was just because they didn't like the hardcore punk sounds. Well.
Yeah, this band was on called Prevent Falls, and they like some members became Armor for Sleep, and I don't even know. I just know they're kind of successful, and they like stole all the beer, and they were assholes.
I guess that would be a good reason why not to have shows. Stolen beer. No, cool. That old man and his wife were probably none too pleased.
No. Now,
was that?
They were like, "Hey,
the owners? Hey, give me that beer back.
Hey, get back here with that beer." Yeah, they were thirsty, and they went into the refrigerator like, I could use a cold one, and then they went, "Huh? What?" And the guy's face dropped. And then his wife, she started urinating.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. I mean, Boston hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pissing.
Armor
for Sleep.
Yeah.
Armor for Sleep is rubber sheets,
boring. Right. They sleep with rubber sheets, and also the audience members fall asleep because they're boring.
Yeah.
And they're idiots.
Have you ever been to? I guess it wouldn't happen really at punk shows or hardcore shows, but I went to see Black Sabbath at the Ozfest in I think 2000, and my brother's friend fell asleep during Black Sabbath.
Oh wow, they're loud. Do you actually know that Ozfest, Oz is short for Ozzy Osbourne?
I thought it was an acronym.
No, or like awesome supersonic sounds, but spelled with Z's.
With Z's, yeah.
Right.
Well, I knew that the promoter of the festival, Sharon Osbourne, was of English descent. So I thought that the Z stood for Zed, as they say over there. So it would be outstanding, Zeds.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you remember? Do you know that one year for one date, Ozfest and the Warp Tour crossed over?
What?
Yeah, Deftones were on Warp Tour, but then they were
Huh?
playing to Ozfest fans. It was
Wait,
crazy.
the world has gone topsy-turvy.
Yeah, I think that I used to have a
So,
VHS of that. I may sell
so
it to
like
you one
Simple
day.
Plan they played for at the Ozfest.
I don't think it was that year. I think it was a couple years before they became a popular band of musicians.
I was in a band who played with them like right when they like were becoming popular, and they were like just so lame, obviously. But
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this because I was only in a band for a very brief period of time. We played two shows under two
uh huh.
separate names over the course of 2 months,
Hmm.
and didn't happen. But you were in several bands. Now, was there a particular punk band that made you want to start your band? Did you start the band? Were you asked to join? And did you just listen to the music and think, oh, that would be easy to play? You already play an instrument. Those are 7 questions. Answer them in any order you want.
Okay, so I was basically like just in one band, but we like had switched names a few times when some of the band members had switched. But it was essentially one band. We were called Hey Vern. That was like the main uh, band. Uh, we started kind of like punk-ish, but not quite like say like Weezer Blue Album style, and then kind of switched to like fast beat punk. Uh, and yeah, I would say it would be like bands like Weezer, and then later like NoFX and MXPX and like Blink 182. So kind of like poppy stuff we liked. Even though we were kind of like heavier than most pop punk bands.
Mhm.
Is that
And you
okay?
played, yeah, you played bass or guitar? Did you sing?
Bass,
Did
yeah.
everyone sing? Yeah.
Yeah, actually, our first show, it was me and the guitar player, like sang, but we kind of like were just like pretending to sing. Like we would like not really sing into the microphone because we were like nervous and stuff. And then the drummer like became the singer because he's
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh no, wait, I can actually do this.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And that was I felt like pop punk was more common to have the drummer as the singer than other bands because
Right,
there's so much
he stopped
ego.
play he stopped playing drums when he
Oh,
became the
okay.
singer. Right.
Okay. Yeah. So that makes more sense.
Uh-huh.
Um, did
It
you
wasn't.
already play bass though? Did you? Is that something you wanted because you just were into bands like
It was it
Weezer?
was it was just the easiest. So I'll play bass because that's the easiest instrument.
Uh,
Uh huh.
and was it your idea to start the band
It
or
was,
the
yeah.
guitarist? Yeah. Yeah.
Uh huh. So I recruited people who were way better than I was. So it was smart on my side.
Did you, because you just knew people that were friends with you that played instruments, or did you do the
Correct. Yeah.
hang flyers at Guitar Center? Okay.
No, never that.
Yeah. Looking for band that is serious about rocking.
Uh huh. Well,
No
tolerate a
bullshit.
crappy bass player.
Yeah. I will want most of the glory. So, yeah. Did you ever sing on recordings? You guys have a demo? How far did that go?
uh, we had a 5 song demo, which I didn't sing on, and then also like professionally recorded like 1 song thing just to try to get interest, which I also didn't sing on.
Oh. See,
So like
I
we had a 5 song demo that cost like $300 or something to make, and then the 1 song thing cost like $1,000. So we couldn't really record like a whole album that way.
yeah,
Would have been too
yeah,
expensive.
yeah.
But if
Fuck.
anyone
Um,
cares, I don't know why you would. Hey Vern, you can look up on like MySpace. I think there's still that $1,000 song up.
nice.
Uh-huh.
Did you call it the $1,000 song?
No, it should be called that though.
Because did you try to back in those days, and maybe still today? I haven't really followed current punk in really that much, but there's a lot of compilations. So recording
Mhm.
one song, I think, would be perfect. Did it ever end up on any comps, or did you just send it out to labels or people?
It actually did get on a few comps. One like didn't even tell us they were using it. Like we were accepted. I just sent it and like never knew what happened. And but I looked on eBay and it was like for sale on eBay. Uh, I I found out about it because it's on that site Discog, which like says like value, and that's the only thing listed as Hey Vern that were on that compilation album. Even though we did have like a demo tape.
Yeah. Now, what is the name of that compilation, and what the fuck? Like, did
I don't know.
they never sent you one, huh? Wow.
But it was on a different compilation, and they did send us one.
Oh, okay. Which was that? Because I love the names of it.
I
Wasn't
don't.
given the boot.
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't remember.
What?
I'm sorry.
Okay, that's that's crazy talk to me because
Uh-huh.
that's something that you made. That's it's being accepted. It's $1,000 at least being worth
But
something, you know.
but we didn't make the song for that reason. We made the song and then sent it, and then like fine, they want to use it. Who cares? Whatever. That's good, but it's not like yes, we're accepted by this label in Vermont who like printed 50 of these. Awesome.
Well, all right. I think you might be being a little hard on yourself. I'm just saying. I know you didn't make it to get on that comp, but it's
Uh-huh.
cool. You made it,
We actually we sent the demo to like oh god, I can't even remember. Do you remember Junction 18?
yeah, I
What
saw them
was
at Bill's Bar with the movie Life and Reach the Sky on an afternoon show when I went to Warped Tour earlier that day.
what was the label they were on?
Um,
Do you remember? I think like
wait.
Newfound Glory was also on it. Not Lookout
Okay.
Records. Not even not Drive Through Records. I mean, but like oh, I think like the Plain White Tees are their most popular band they had.
Okay, I feel like I'm close to getting it. I think the Queers did. I mean, they probably put out a lot of different albums, but oh, was it? It sounds vaguely Asian Man Records.
No,
Uh, okay, then never mind.
okay,
I'm
it
not
doesn't
good
matter.
at this game. Yeah.
Anyways, we sent it out to a bunch. They responded like, "Oh, pretty good, but you know, we don't need any more bands at the moment."
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, did you also send them a receipt for your recording cost and say, "Hey, if one song costs $1,000, then it'll cost you
No,
7,000 for your 7 inch."
I actually feel kind of bad. A smaller label did want to put out our album, and then we were like, our drummer quit, and we were just like, we had like the session time recorded, but we were just like, nah, sorry, I have to break up. We're lame.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
See, maybe that it in a blessing in disguise. And I don't know if this connects any way to how long cumulatively were you in a band for, and how soon after that did you start trying stand-up comedy?
Oh God, I was in a band like maybe 6 years, but then it wasn't like I waited like 5 years to try to do comedy. It was really like a sad time in my life when the band was over. It's like, oh, I have no purpose. And
So you never
like
considered
then I went like
starting
back
a
to like
band?
school and stuff. No, I never could.
Oh, okay.
No. I'm sorry. I say like the band broke up, but then like we like did other things like with other people. But it was still like me and the drummer who switched to like singing, and it was still the guitar player. So it was kind of like a rotating drummer all the time. But like I don't even consider those uh, like bands I was in because we didn't really play big shows and stuff. But that first band like would play like the big local shows and stuff like that. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't consider the other ones even like being in a band.
Gotcha.
Uh-huh.
Um, but
Yeah,
yeah, so
dog.
but it was 5 years before you started doing comedy because it was sometime, not multiple years. I think it was a few months later, or maybe a year later, between the band. Could have been 2 years. I can check the flyer. I have the flyer for our very first show, and I want to say it was in 2007, but it might have been 2008. Um, Was comedy something you wanted to do? Were you the guy that did funny banter when someone would break a string and you would have to check and fix it?
Yeah, like stupid stuff. But I remember doing like a show and like I didn't know we were going on so early, so like I ordered Chinese food and then they're like, "Oh, you're up." So like I went on stage eating lo mein, and like people thought that was funny, and like it was
Yeah.
kind of funny, but uh, uh, yeah, and stuff like that. And I would also make like I had a public access TV show and also would make like YouTube videos, but like I was always just like kind of afraid to do stand up. And like when I first started like public access as a teenager, like I didn't have jokes. If I did stand up then it just would have been like me like trying to troll the audience or something. It would have been like
Yeah.
awful. Uh,
Uh-huh.
yeah. As I got older,
See,
like I realized like, oh, I could actually like maybe write jokes.
yes. Um, just to talk a little about the cable access, because I had a little cable access pass,
Mm-hmm.
but really we did a live show and we did a sketch show, which took months to put together. So I
Mm-hmm.
really only did 1.5 episodes. But
Uh-huh. Same thing
what was
to
you?
sorry to butt in, but we did 5 episodes, but they would take like 2 months each.
Yeah.
Uh,
Okay, now how many people were working with you on that? Was it you and another person? You and a couple people?
Me and like 3 other guys basically.
Did you guys have a name as a comedy troupe? What was the name of
Yeah,
the
the
show?
the name of the show was Full Frontal Nudity, just to get like people like to like, oh, what's this? I'm going to see naked ladies, and then oh, it's these kids breaking things. Great.
Ah, see that? Did I ever touch? Did I tell you the name of my show? I love that.
uh, you might have mentioned it, but I forget. What was it?
Well, it's the only reason I mention it is because it's in a similar vein.
Uh,
Because we just wanted to show up on the TV schedule and have
uh,
people be like, "Oh,"
ooh,
but
oily discharge. What's this?
no, I figured that most people, because we were broadcast on Brookline Access Television,
Mm-hmm.
it's just I felt like it would just be old ladies who are watching the cable
Oh,
access
wow.
show.
Right.
So we named the show Coupon Clippers Digest.
Uh-huh.
So,
That's just cool. Yeah.
so
And, people would call up upset. A funny thing is, we would put like the email address to contact the show, and people would contact us, and like uh, a few interests from like girls at the time, which was very like surprising and very welcome. And
did you
also
capitalize on that? Did you meet up with these girls, these
a few
cable
times like
access fans?
I like hung out with them, but like nothing like really happened. But another thing I would do, I would go in AOL chat rooms, like the Providence AOL chat room, people in places, blah blah blah, and be like, "Oh, turn on channel 13 right now," and people would be like, "Screw you,
Oh,
loser! You think you're cool? This is awful. You suck."
that's awesome. You
Uh-huh.
you actually seem to innovate when it comes to YouTube comment threads.
Right,
You're
and
you're doing it in a different way. You were doing it with local television and
uh-huh,
chat rooms in
uh-huh.
your vicinity.
Hmm.
Fuck. You
Another funny,
interrupted the days of child molesters so they could watch cable access and
uh-huh.
fake them.
They put us on at like 5 in the afternoon, which is kind of a bad time for what we were doing. But
Oh,
I
you mean
worked
when,
at
when families are eating dinner? Is that
right, right.
time?
I worked at a nursing home, and a few times I went into the Alzheimer's unit, and because like I had to like pick up like the trays of food and stuff, and I would put on the channel 13 and be like, "Look, I'm a television star. Can you believe this?" And I remember this one lady being like, "Oh my god, I can't believe it."
Wow.
Yeah.
That that is fucking amazing in so
Oh,
many
thank
different
you,
levels.
thank you.
Wow. Because yeah, what are you gonna do? Get in trouble? You're not gonna get in trouble because they're not gonna be able to tell on you anyway. So
Uh-huh. But like another person could maybe be like, "Hey, why are you turning on the TV?" But like, could you get in trouble? Like, "Oh, I was showing that I'm on television at this exact moment."
No, no.
Like, no,
Unless
that's
what
the
you're
rule, buddy.
doing,
Right,
yeah, yeah. Unless what I haven't seen the episodes. We should. I don't know. I might not even have episodes of my show. I think I have VHS somewhere that
right.
were taken from my mom's house when she moved out. But
This podcast
that
thing
should
is
be
going
the
to be so
show.
long. We are just starting, but everyone's entertained, so that's good. But I do, if you look
Yeah.
on YouTube, like James Creelman, you can look up like a nice old man, and there's this interview where like I'm kind of just having a conversation with an old guy, and we ask him how to meet women, and he basically tells us to like go to Newport and to if we want to keep the women to go down on them, and I just pretend like I don't know what he's talking about. So he's like graphically describing how to go down on a woman. So like there are some clips on YouTube from my public access days. There's a clip I dropped like a bag of trash at the community college, like on this kid's head who like doesn't know it's gonna happen, and other classic gags like that. Uh,
Wow,
mhm.
awesome. I
Yeah.
will put a link in the comment section of this,
Hmm.
and I will post this in the AOL North Providence chat group. Yeah.
Hmm. So let's talk about these records here.
All right, now you sent me a list months ago,
Hmm.
and of the records that you liked, and the tapes that you liked, and the stuff that you didn't.
Uh-huh.
So
And
we
link
can
all
go through
those
the whole
bands so they
thing.
can watch and like be mad if I don't like their demo.
Yeah. Now, I like it. It's very interesting to me because a lot of these bands are from a very specific time period
Hmm.
in Boston hardcore or Boston punk rock.
Mostly like
And
2002 to like 2005, I would guess.
yeah. So it would be great if you organize it by years, but we won't do that. We don't necessarily have to do that.
No, 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 no,
So
no,
hey,
no, no, no,
you're the
no.
man.
Okay, so this one I like, it's a 7-inch. It's by a band called Cross Examination, which kind of have like maybe like municipal waste, like thrashy party stuff. And it actually
Yes.
comes in like this collector's case, the 7-inch, which is cool. It's a Goosebump Terror from the Graveyard case. It comes in. And then get the record right in there. So that's a good one. Cross Examination. And that's good. We'll put it back in the Goosebumps board game. It's actually very expensive for them to produce this album because the board game itself is like $24.95.
And they had to get it trademarked and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's
They
good.
most certainly did. So be it. That was a pretty good 7-inch right there. Kind of more like the last guys were kind of like, but these guys are kind of more like, which is good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I want a little side note, cross examination. I think kind of inspired me to be in a band, but I did a very bad job because they let me sing vocals on a Suicidal Tendencies cover,
Yeah.
uh, and it sucked.
Uh,
Suicide's an alternative. I fucked
uh,
it up. I forgot the words and couldn't keep up. But it
uh,
was in a antique store in Pittsfield, Mass. Is where that happens. But
oh, that's where all the best shows are. An antique.
yeah, on a
Yeah.
weeknight.
Nah.
Nah, take that, reality. Now that the second 7-inch you just held up, that was another band that they had corporate sponsorship from the Sobe drink company,
Oh
and
my
they
goodness.
because they all worked for the IT division, so that's why they called their 7-inch Sobe IT. Right?
Ah. Okay.
Now hold it up to
Are
the
you just
camera.
kidding? Are you just making?
Yeah.
Very funny gag. Jokes on me. How about this one? It's called Terror. And these hard rockers.
Yes.
Look, you can actually see through the vinyl. Hello.
Yeah.
How's everyone? And that's kind of like what I like. Terror, they're good.
Actually, I thought that you didn't like So Be It. No, you just were bringing
No,
them into the conversation because
no,
it's the
no, no,
closest to you,
no.
and you
I did
liked
like
them.
them. I even wrote it down.
Oh yeah, but you didn't like SOS. That was the other band that
Oh, okay. I didn't like a lot of these,
I know. Okay.
but I'm just going over some of the records first.
Okay. Yeah,
Ceremony,
yeah.
they're fun. They're pretty good. I like a lot of the straight edge bands, even though I never was straight edge.
I agree. I used to
Mhm.
love 10-Yard Fight, and when I was straight edge when I liked them, but then when I started smoking marijuana again, I thought, wow, this band sounds really good when you're stoned, which is
All right.
uh, not the reaction that straight edge bands want to garner in a fan base. But
Uh-huh. And not getting into like certain bands, but like a lot of bands like have to break up because they're like, oh, we do drugs now. So it's like,
yeah,
oh, so you just lied to everyone for 10 years.
it's not that they lied to everyone; it's just
They,
that they changed their mind. So I like that
but
they
isn't that so
broke up.
weird to just to be like chanting like and telling people like, I don't know. You know what
Nah,
I mean?
I don't think it's as weird. I think it's okay. I think it's weird to maybe
It
change
would,
their complete doctrine of things, but it could be. What if it's the fucking guitarist who didn't write any of the lyrics, and it sucks that they have to break up because the guitarist is no longer straight edge, and they don't want to replace him because he wrote all the
Mhm.
music.
Uh-huh.
But I think, in a way, that's why American Nightmare was formed. I could be wrong, but I don't know. No, because they were all straight edge when they started. So whatever, I'm wrong. Don't write a comment. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I don't even know much about hardcore. I'm just like it, but I don't know much about it.
Yeah,
So I know nothing.
I
And
think in
kind
a
of
way,
the point of this was kind of like, oh, you haven't heard most of these, so
hell yeah.
let's get your point of view.
First reaction. True.
Mhm.
Continue, please.
Okay, so I was lucky enough to get this from you, even though it's not really hardcore or anything, just a great album, and this is fun to listen to.
Double nickels on the dimes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. This isn't punk record at all. The Ruddles. It's just kind of funny how like committed they are to like the joke, and it's like not like jokes. The songs aren't like funny. Well, they're
They're
funny
not
because
laugh out loud funny. Yeah.
right, they're just such a parody of the Beatles that it's like comical.
Yeah.
And
There
what?
are funny songs if you think about it.
Right, right.
Instead of all you need is love, it's all you need is cash.
Uh-huh. But I think that's like one of the only ones that is.
Yeah, show the insert because that's great. That's pretty much why I wanted it. I hadn't seen. There's an hour-long special. I'm not even sure if it's available anywhere online, but it aired on NBC in a week that Saturday Night Live was not on the air, and it was
Uh-huh.
just the Ruddles in that time slot. And Eric Idle had been doing a lot of guest appearances. But yeah, check out some of the artwork.
Mhm.
Talk us through it.
Okay,
Talk us
so
through it because that's the only way it shows up on the screen.
all you need is cat. Yeah, they see it right there. But then like a song I found funny was called "Ouch," and the lyrics are, "Ouch, you're breaking my heart. Ouch, I'm falling apart. Ouch, ow, ow, ouch." So like that's funny. But like "Hold My Hand," like that isn't already a Beatles song.
ah,
Uh, oh, "Piggy in the Middle." That was like a funny. Uh, what's that one? The wall. I am the walrus type thing mixed with the. I don't know.
yeah.
Another things
Well,
like
that.
if I knew references, like I would be much better at like communicating and being funny. Uh, but
Okay, I get you. I didn't bring you on as a Beatles expert. No
yeah.
need to break it down. I was just curious because that's one of the ones that I miss. Some of these records
I mean, I'll
either
sell
have
it back. How much?
digitally or I'll buy back you for $80. 80.
I was thinking 100, but maybe we
Okay.
could
Well,
90.
that's what haggling is all about.
$90 plus
Yeah.
if you have any like maybe coupons, uh,
Oh,
fast
well, I
food.
am an expert. Coupon Clippers Digest. That's me. I'm the man from the Coupon Clippers Digest, so I know lots of guys. Uh, Okay,
The Real
what's
Kids.
next? Oh, that's a good one.
It's funny how much they
All
look like the
kinds of
Ramones.
girls.
We look like the Ramones, but we're different.
When they put out, if they formed a band, when they formed a band Guitar Center style, I like to think that they put must commit to matching haircuts.
Yeah, and they definitely did that. And now
All right.
they're old, and they miss the days of being real kids. And this
Well, they still
obviously,
played shows as fucking old ass kids, definitely. In the past few years.
speaking of straight edge, this is like one of my uh, probably favorite hardcore albums, and this is awesome, and I'm glad I got it. Have Heart, songs to scream at the sun. But it's not like a son like your son.
Not to be like, hey, clean up your room or I'll sing this song to you. And people
Yeah,
will mosh.
that's right,
Yeah,
baby.
that's a solid pick. Have Heart, they were a band that, yeah, I certainly enjoyed, even though I was not straight edge. I felt like they didn't just sing about straight edge in their later albums. That was their follow up to the Things We Carry. But yeah, hugely popular worldwide band, and a lot of
Wait,
people in Boston. Yeah, yeah.
so why did these bands break up?
I don't know. I think that they were bands that it was. I'm not totally sure. I think that the other people in the band were going through grad school and they wanted to commit to doing more real life stuff. They didn't want to make it a lifelong career.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think that's why. I think that they accomplished much more than they expected when they started out. I saw them, the first show that I saw them play was part of something called FNS Fest, which was a very short-lived label around the parts of Boston, run by a dude named Pat FNS, who has a giant neck tattoo and has been an extra on My Name is Earl. I think he lives out in Hollywood, does a lot of parts in movies and stuff. But they played for, I don't know, 15 people, mostly standing around. And then the next time I saw them, they were playing in front of a couple hundred people, and they were one of the biggest bands in Boston. And they just kept it up. They worked their way up. They played huge. They played in Africa. They had people in a schoolroom auditorium. There's a famous video out there. But they would just tour all the time and work their asses off, and they just connected with people on a certain level. So yeah,
Yeah, good songs.
yeah. Better
Verse
to burn
was
out than
a
to
Verse was a Providence band. I think they actually might be around still, but similar sounds. Also, good band.
and they would play a lot of shows together. Both of those bands started around the same time, and I think they just saw themselves as kindred spirits in a way because they were doing their stuff down in Rhode Island. Well, Have Art may have started around in the New Bedford area, and that's not too far from Rhode Island too. So maybe that's how
Oh
they met.
no, they're like this.
Yeah, thick as
Okay.
thieves' blood.
Hey, we don't want to have to pay royalties here.
True, true.
Uh,
Not that. You
Look at this tape. Look at now we're getting into the cassette tapes. Look at this one, Praxis. It's called. What do you think of
Yes.
that?
Now,
And it has a
now,
Nazi thing, but that's like ironic. They're not a Nazi band. They actually
no,
think
they were.
you should go.
Yeah, they were very political.
And
Now, what's the name of that tape? Is it Praxis Makes Perfect?
no, you silly. It's just it might be self-titled. It's on state-sponsored records. It's the first one. And this
Which is
one
a mom
is
and pop label run by an old man and woman who own a VFW.
yeah, mommy and papa. And then there's this one, which has a little subtitle down there, but is in like Arabic. I can't read that.
Yes. Praxis, to the best of my knowledge, only released cassettes.
Mm-hmm.
Although, when I stopped paying attention to local music, maybe they went out and put some albums together. or some 7 inches.
Uh,
I just broke.
so this is more of a demo. It's not quite as good as the other one, and I have to say the other one is like of all these cassette tapes is like my favorite. And there's a bunch of these cassette tapes, as you can see. Like,
Oh yeah, show off my sticker collection. Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah. And these are like, you know, the hard rock bands that Matthew listened to instead of doing his homework. Yeah. Okay, so like I kind of have to like opposite of God. This is kind of like the only like metal band amongst all these, and if I remember right, I think it's kind of grindcore, but I don't remember liking it that much. Unfortunately, I'm sorry.
It was very grindcore. Florida is a very rich grindcore scene down in Brandon, Florida, and they had members who were from Texas, Gulf Coast hardcore stick together, and that's where I met those dudes from other bands as well.
So where would you get most of these tapes from?
It would depend. A lot of them are from bands that came to Boston. Sometimes they were from bands when I was traveling, like when I went on tour with this band Rapite, The Shit, Concrete Facelift. These are bands that we would cross paths with. And then, of course, Blank Stare and Social Circle, or bands we met in Europe. I think there's a demo in there that I really liked, but I could not put it in with all the other tapes.
Okay, which one?
Called Arnold Strong.
Okay, which is.
I thought they were really kind of goofy. They were a band that I saw when I was in Europe, but there was something very endearing about them. It was like basically you could just call them broken English straight edge. But I actually was surprised at how much I liked the tape. I kind of bought it just to be an ambassador, and I wanted to be maybe one of the only people who owned an Arnold Strong demo in America. Although they probably sent some out to hardcore mail order fans.
Uh-huh.
And is it in there? You find it?
Yeah.
What's it called? Hold that up and read a couple song titles.
Ah, okay. That's what we got. Arnold Strong anthem, Bono Die Brill Kaput Machine. What would you do? Teenage depression. All silly things like that, you know. I remember. I think this
very
one
generic.
Right. I think this one starts with like a clip from a movie.
Oh, that's a classic hardcore move. Mm-hmm. But you don't have any thoughts or remembrances particularly about that one?
I'm trying to look at what I wrote down. I remember it. I think I thought it was pretty good. It's kind of like the party, like hardcore, like cross-examination.
Yeah. Yeah. See, a lot of these things.
Oh, okay.
Have more sentimental reasons.
There's a American Gladiators intro. That's what it is.
Ah, nice. Very good for a European hardcore band. Yeah.
Okay, so what I wrote down here was the intro is classic, and it was fun, but the attitude, like behind the tape, is actually better than what the music is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Succinct.
They kind of blend together since there's like 50 of these things, and I listened to them all within like 2 days of each other.
Right.
Let's talk about this one, Fortress. This actually has like the best looking tape out of most of these demos. And it kind of has like a heavy paper stock, and it has like the lyrics, and it's number 31 of 200, but it was just like a boring tape. I didn't think it was great or anything. So I'm sorry, Fortress.
It's okay.
And I also kind of feel the same about this one, K-Bar. Has like a nice looking tape and stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Some of these have very bad quality, and you could just say like, oh, it's hardcore, but like, no, it should sound like halfway decent. You know what I mean? You feel me?
Yeah.
Okay, so very similar to Arnold Strong is you have like the Sergeant Slaughter and the 18.
Why, they sound like 80s heroes? And that UFO flies over your head, right?
Wait, what?
What does that sound? It sounds like is that an airplane? But it sounds like a UFO in slow motion. I mean,
Oh
I've never
no,
heard a
no, yeah, it's
UFO.
an airplane.
Oh, I gotcha. Where do you think they're flying from, and where do you think they're flying to?
Uh, I don't know if it's a commercial plane flying to like the place in Warwick, Rhode Island, or if it's just like a little tiny private helicopter. So I don't know.
Well, I'm not. I didn't think that you would have the exact answer. I was asking
But
for
if I
you
just
to
had to
ponder
guess, I
something.
think they're probably going from Cape Cod uh, to Portland, Maine.
Okay, good. Good answer. See,
Okay,
that's perfect.
right.
I looked.
Thanks.
It sounded like with very hesitant confidence as well.
I
I
was
love
gonna
it.
say New Bedford, but then realized you already talked about New Bedford, so it would just sound like I
Yeah,
only
spice it up. I like it. Good.
the A team, baby. I remember this one being okay. We're the A team. We're coming to town. We're the A team, and You're all screwed. It's called.
Yes.
Sergeant Slaughter was very similar to maybe the Arnold Strong because it's like good energy, just recorded on like a boombox. Basically, it sounds like. Uh,
I
talking
really
about
loved
that.
Sergeant Slaughter, and they were good buddies eventually. But they were a band that they were from like the Lowell area, so they're kind of
Oh,
mysterious to us Boston punks. But
yeah,
some of
that
them turned
explains it.
into some very good friends in hardcore, and after one of whom the singer I just saw on the subway recently, and they played the first show at the place that I lived at that had shows. So that
Mm-hmm.
was a kind of a special sentimental attachment to me. So shout out to everyone in Sergeant Slaughter, the Spraker brothers, Aaron and Nelson, and
Ah,
Eric for putting the tape out. But yeah, cool dudes.
okay, so more shit talk. Oh God, does it still have it? No, I think I threw it away, but for some reason, this one there was a razor blade in the case. I don't know if that's like how it was
Oh,
issued, uh, but this was
which one? Hold it up.
the muzzled,
Oh,
and this was
okay.
very, very bad. This was awful.
Like you wish they were muzzled? Am I right? Okay.
A little. Well, I mean, it would still sound bad. It wouldn't improve their sound.
Okay. Gotcha.
I just wish they might have like practiced more.
Gotcha. So,
Sorority High. I'm sorry, Sorority High, another straight edge band,
yeah.
and you got like the tape with actual printed words on it. Uh,
Ooh. Fucking. They paid a little extra, baby. Yeah.
uh, this was like better quality, and this is a good tape. This is a good band. Yeah.
All right.
Do you know anything about them?
Sobriety High, I think they were called.
Yeah.
And I don't. There's nothing that I remember. I think they were bands. I think that was one of my later tape versions that perhaps that I got from a band on tour. Sometimes I would buy tapes of bands that weren't playing the show, but the bands that were playing were friends with, so they would bring their demo on tour and sell it at their merch table or in a distro. So I'm pretty sure Sobriety High is one of those bands. I never saw them, but I did buy their tape.
Uh, cool. So this one has appropriate name, as you can read it.
Ah,
I'm not even
yes.
allowed to say
I,
the
I want
word.
to talk. I want to talk a little about that. Yeah, SHIT.
Mm-hmm.
That was a band called Shit Mayor. Shit Mayor, and they're a band that I didn't see. I've never seen live,
Mm-hmm.
but fuck, did I see them live? I don't think I did. Uh, they were from Pittsburgh, and they
Mm-hmm.
were made up from members of a band called Brain Handle and a few other bands. But I was very there were towns in America that I was fascinated with the music scene of, it would sometimes read their message boards, and it was very interesting to me because I would see parallels between the Boston and scene, the punk scene, and then things that made it so different about these other towns. And Shitmare was one of them. And that cassette is, it's mostly live, probably poorly recorded live songs with weird local radio clips and old movies, and kind of arranged in a bizarre way. And I don't know, I was into it. Shitmare.
Uh-huh.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, good news. They also have this one, a poetry cassette. Yay! Fun. Awesome. Love putting on some
See?
poetry.
Yeah, blasting it from the car, you know.
Oh yeah. Until my ears bleed. Once in the band we were in, we played a weird like scene called Latrobe, Pennsylvania, where they brew like Rolling Rock. And actually, what's funny is that's where Tim Bergulish is from, but he wasn't at the show. And like a band played that was considered themselves pirate core. So they played like they sampled like big like operatic like sounding like music, but had like singing about pirates, like oh walk the plank, and
oh, gotcha.
And they put us on at the end thinking like oh the out of town headliner, but everyone had just left, no one stayed except for 4 people who had like a pillow fight with couch cushions.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're like couch cushion fighting music.
That's
like
a good morale booster, right? Yeah.
They actually had a lot of fun, so I can't be too mad at them.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's keep it moving. Guilty Faces. This one I remember being pretty good, and it's not like a different style of music than like the other ones were. Like a different kind of punk, and I thought it was okay, but I don't remember much about it.
Snotty. They were very snotty, and you could spell that in the naughty way, or Snatty way. Yeah.
There's this band Nuclear Family.
And, yeah. Also have played my house. Yep.
They have a cutie as a lead singer.
Yeah. Currently my roommate. Bet you didn't know that.
Oh, she's gonna think I sexually harassed her.
No, she'll never watch this. But it is funny. The flyer for the show, it was Leslie Nielsen holding a giant donut that had a bite out of it from an episode from the Files of Police Squad.
That's a good show.
Would later become the feature film Naked Gun from the Files of Police Squad.
One of my favorite jokes from that show is like he goes into a restaurant and the guy goes, "Oh, would you like a coat check?" And he goes, "Okay," and he uses a marker and checks him his coat.
So good.
Okay, so Nuclear Family. Tell your roommate that the song "Nuclear Family" is like basically a ripoff of "Happy Family" by the Ramones.
Well, it might have been a tribute.
Yeah, maybe. Right. The Waifs, they got this cutie of a lead singer on this one. This really isn't a punk one.
I don't live with anyone in that band. I don't live with anyone in that band. I believe they were an English band. Is there an England address on the inside, or a .co.uk email under the contact information, perhaps?
No, it's completely blank.
Oh, that's so fucking punk. They definitely are from England. That proves it. I'll do the research later. But yeah.
Now, this one. Oh no, not that one. This one is the worst quality of all these, and that's like saying a lot because some of these are bad. It's spray painted.
Which one? Can you say it again?
Oh, I'm sorry. Worm Tongue.
Oh, okay. They were from Worcester, so they probably huffed that spray paint, and that's why they didn't record well. Yeah.
There's like a booger on the cassette.
Wow.
Yeah, I know you like that. Yeah, the bugs. Let's see what else we got. We got This one wasn't too bad. Positive reinforcement, and it kind of has like a
Oh,
cool cassette tape.
nice. Yeah, yeah.
Hell yeah.
Positive reinforcement also features members of my household.
Ah,
My roommates drummed
ah.
for that rock and roll band. I always enjoy, and the singer of the band played guitar for a band that I really enjoyed and still sing songs of in my head because they were the first band that I ever sang for, and we never played a show. But
Who's that?
it was me, Lieber played guitar, Ryan played drums, and we never got a
Oh,
bassist. We never got a bassist because we only did, I think, 2 or 3 practices, and we were called Color Telly, and color was spelled in the English way, and Telly was Tele, and I was thinking far ahead that if we ever had a fan club, we would be called. They would be called. I said we because obviously I would be the president of the fan club,
mhm.
and as the only fan, we would be called the People of Color Telly.
uh,
So
very good.
there we
So
go.
it's good. Like,
But
is it? Are you a racist or?
no, we were People of Color Telly.
So you're not
We
like
weren't
a.
racist.
Oh, okay. Well, good. This one is called Male Nurses, and it came with a sticker and like Al Bundy in the insert. But I'm sorry, male nurses, but this was bad. This was just not rocking.
All right, hey, they were dudes that I knew as people before the music, but I always enjoyed me some male nurses. Go on. Next, what's next?
Like rats. Oh, I hated this. I did not want to listen to the whole thing. It was not good. Like rats. Don't buy this at a store near you.
Okay, go on. They've also played my house, but I can see where you're coming from. It's fine.
Violent
Don't worry.
nuns. Only 2 songs. There's women with their breasts out. A little bit better than male nurses, but no. Skip it, okay? There's so many musical options out there. This. Oh my god. Foreign objects. Bunch of cuties in this band. Cassette tape. And it's like cute color. And this one,
Wait, there's a band photo in there.
no,
Then how do you know they're cuties? Did you look
because
them
the
up?
way they sing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Dan on the drums, he's not cute, but Megan bass, yes. Melissa guitar. Terry on vocals, maybe. Unless it's a
What's
guy.
it?
Yeah.
No, no, it's a girl. It's a girl. In fact, fun fact. Now you got to move these two cassettes together. Is married to the singer of Sergeant Slaughter.
Ah. Well, they remember
So,
Sergeant Slaughter. I don't feel like find it.
and now also Foreign Objects. We're not the first band to have that name, but there was an old Boston punk band called Foreign Objects that people would always mention when they would have shows. But Foreign Objects was the band that I went on tour with when I made the decision to begin attempting to do stand-up comedy in front of crowds.
Now, would you go on tour a lot because like you just like didn't have a real 9 to 5 job, or would you take time from work? Or
I would. At the time, I worked for a hardcore, mostly hardcore record label called Bridge 9 Records, and were willing. They were willing to be flexible with me and give me time off to go on tour. So that's what I did with Foreign Objects, and it was tough at times. And it was weird because during that tour, we came back to Massachusetts, and I worked for like half a day, and then I went back on tour the following later that night, played a
Oh,
show in Somerville, and then continued on. But they ended up playing a number of shows, I think 5 or 6 shows, with a UK band called the Shitty Limits and a North Carolina band whose name escapes me at the very moment. But we would hang out after shows, in whatever town. And I remember particularly Columbus, Ohio, or Dayton. Well, it was in Ohio. It was not Cleveland though. And just having a great time and making them laugh, and then having that good a feeling, because in addition to the band, they also brought like 3 or 4 roadies because they were wanted to see the U.S. and this is a way to do it. And what are you doing? Punching your computer?
No, wiping the dust off.
Okay. And is there a lot of pollen and bird shit on from all the birds chirping around? But anyway, they're maybe one of the reasons that I started trying to do stand-up comedy in front of regular people. So shout out to all the cuties and foreign objects.
Hell yeah.
For allowing that
so why don't you go on tour with these bands and then do your little skits in between?
Maybe, but here's the problem. I lost touch with a lot of people because I started just doing stand-up and not having enough time to be a good friend and keep in touch with people and still support punk shows, because instead of seeing the big local show, I would say, I kind of have to go talk about my dick in this Chinese food restaurant while people from Utah are just trying to drink a beer and have a broken marriage. So, yeah. I would like to go back on tour. Right now, I'm no longer working for the record label, so I'm working a seasonal job. So perhaps in the winter time, I can reconnect with friends that want a roadie that is only somewhat good at math and selling T-shirts, and maybe I'll do some skits. But it's also tough to do fucking comedy at punk and hardcore shows because
no, I know.
It's very.
I was just kidding.
It's very
basically.
It's very
like I knew it wouldn't be a good environment.
No.
It's very wise. Very.
Yeah.
No one wants to listen to you, and they'll just go, "Boo, you stink."
Yeah, and yeah, they're so conditioned to heckling anyway because they think it's funny or it's their friends being serious on stage, and they're yelling inside jokes. So I've done it at punk shows. I'm sure you have, and that is maybe grounds for our next episode. But
not really, to be honest. Not punk shows. I've done it at like just regular like rock shows where it could be any type of band.
Yes, and they're more accepting, I'm sure, than punk shows where violence is on the every 25 minutes between songs. Have some violence. Fight each other.
Here's a band, Hulk Out.
Ooh, from Rhode Island.
They sing about Nice Slice Pizza, which is like a trendy pizza place on Thayer Street. And it's funny that a pizza place is like a hip spot. But
hey, they have good vegan pizza there. It might be a little overpriced. But.
Similar to like some of the other bands, like Good Energy, just not a good recording. Wish it was bad.
Now, did you know about that band before obtaining the demo from me? Oh.
No, Poppy.
Yeah.
Ooh, I was gonna make fun of them just because it would have been easy because their name is Time to Escape. We're Time to Escape and You Suck. But I like this one.
Time to Escape. I don't think I ever saw them live. I believe they're from Virginia, and that is a tribute to the Meatmen. There's a Meatmen album, which I think is called We're the Meatmen and You Suck. But, yeah.
And it's number 99 of 100, so just in time. If you waited 2 tapes, you wouldn't have gotten it.
I nearly sold out in front of me. Yeah.
You're like, hey, huh?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if this one, the Reprobates, it's like recorded over an actual cassette.
It could have been. I think that it may have been. And I've got some cassettes like that made me wish oh yeah, that's definitely recorded over. They were Canadian bands.
I know it's recorded over, but I don't know if like you did it or they did it.
Oh, they did.
Like,
definitely.
It seems more expensive.
Well, if they already had the tapes kicking around and they just maybe it was used at the very end of their demo making session and they're just like, you know what? I don't listen to Extreme anymore. Let's record over it. I don't know that was Extreme. I just know that Extreme was on A&M Records, and the drummer was my cousin's uncle. So that's why I mentioned them. Yeah.
I've been talking too long. I have a sore throat almost.
No, I have a sore throat, but I wanted to do this podcast anyway because we talked about it months ago, and you sent me a message on Facebook. And
Yeah.
I'm having a great time, by the way, and I feel like my voice is holding up, but it does sound different than I normally sound.
Even keel. I didn't like this. It has cool artwork. Bad quality. It did sound like they could be better if it was recorded better. Anything on them?
Well, the singer used to be in a band called Cut the Shit, and he also played bass for Blank Stare when they went on tour in Europe, and that was the first time I saw Europe. So me and Andrew from Even Keel.
That's a good band.
Europe together. Yeah, Cut the Shit?
No, Europe.
Oh, yes. We didn't go on tour with Europe, but when we were about to leave, I thought it was the final countdown for me leaving America. So, there you go. Great times in Europe. Although I slept in a van every 4 days for security purposes, because we thought that car jackers or car thieves or people that steal from vans would feel bad about murdering a person if they were asleep.
Yeah. Go It Alone. This one is actually pretty good. It's like Strike Anywhere, kind of.
Yeah.
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 This one.
I don't have much for Going Alone. But,
yeah. This one speaks for itself.
Yes, that is not a band, not a punk band, but just a sweet old cassette that I bought at a record store because I like the vibe of. Yeah.
Do I have anything for this one? Big Ups.
Big Ups! Yeah, they were a Pennsylvania band, one of the band's demo tapes that I bought because a friend's band had it with them. So, yeah.
They're fine. I hate when you have to like figure out what even the name of the group is. Slave Scene.
Oh yeah, they were a very grindy Florida band. Cool cassette tape though, right?
Not bad is my note on them. Shards, just like a classic punk band. They were pretty good.
Oh
yeah. This was also like classic punk Special Patrol group, but not very good.
Yes, but fucking sweet name. They were named after Vivian from the Young Ones Hamster. SPG, Special Patrol Group.
Never seen that show, unfortunately.
Sorry. What? Oh, you would love it. You would love the Young Ones. I think it might take you a couple episodes to get in, but it's very much up your alley. And Motorhead played live on it, as well as Madness. And those are my two favorite musical bands. Sometimes the music I don't like, but so. Once in every lifetime. What if I sing the theme? Will you have seen it then?
Yeah.
Okay. I love you. I fucked it up, and no, can't do it anyway.
Drug Test. This was
Drug
good quality.
Test. Oh yeah, New Hampshire straight edge band. Is the song "Down the Stairs" on that tape?
Yeah, they're gonna throw you down the stairs. Wait for it. Head first.
Oh fuck! I think that song was written about actually throwing an old man who owned a VFW down the stairs.
No, it was about his wife, as a matter of fact. The old man they had murdered and raped him.
Classic, just bought from a store, blank tape, right?
Time to Die. Bad quality. Don't spend your buck on that one. Hey, lighten up.
Lighten up. Philadelphia. Lead singer has one of the biggest rock band t-shirt collections I know of, and a great artist. Shout out to Perry Shaw.
They were pretty good. Stymie. This is a little different because it's like pop punk.
Oh, Stymie. Hey, speaking of Stymie, I used their T-shirt as a pillowcase. How about that? Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
They're they're kind of dirty, pop punky, and yeah. I don't know. They didn't have any one song that stuck out to me, but I remember really liking the listening to their cassette tape of their LP, walking around wearing headphones.
The Conversions. They got this little cutie of a lead singer on this one.
Well, it's the same lead singer of Foreign Objects. Did
Oh,
you know?
damn.
So she is unavailable.
Hey.
The drummer is a former roommate of mine. So there you go.
Ooh.
I'm betraying all these people that I have been close with.
So Be It. I talked about them.
Yeah.
They're 7-inch, but this is a tape, and it's good.
And it's much different, right? It's less metally sounding than the 7-inch, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
But remember when I made that "so bit" joke?
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty good.
I'm gonna skip some that just aren't really.
Oh yeah, you don't have to do
notable.
the whole thing.
Like
I
Rotting
mean,
Up. No, there's whatever.
Yeah.
High Life. This was actually really good. High Life.
Yeah. Members of Opposite of God, I believe.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Gulf Coast Horror. Yeah.
The Blind. Fun fact: they're Norwegian, and the members they're only 7 years old.
Never saw them, but I bought them in a distro in Europe and really liked it. Yeah.
I kind of hurt my ears. Ow! Owie!
Ow! Ow!
Ape. I can't even say what the name is, but you can read it.
Oh yeah. We don't want to get an explicit rating.
Mm-hmm. This was a lot different. Guilt Lust. It was melodic, unlike most of these, and it was cool.
Yes, they were very catchy, but the lead singer of Last in Line, they were a Western Mass band who may have played that cross-examination show that I fucked up the suicidal cover of Suicide's an Alternative. Or it might have been I Saw Your Mommy, which is even harder to fuck up because it's a more catchy song. But anyway, Guilt Lust, good band. And I don't know if I sold you their LP, but the LP is also very good.
Mm-hmm. Very good. This sucks.
Lunch Money Thugs, yes, from Portland, Maine. They were a band that definitely sucked. They had a song called Pabst Blue Ribbon, and the lyrics would go, "Hey man, what you thinking? Hey man, what you drinking? Pabst Blue Ribbon." Yeah, it was very stupid.
Okay, so let's see here. Social Side. Did I like this one? Yeah, I actually wrote down that I like it. It was like fast punk. It's cool.
Yeah.
And this one has a little cutie of a lead singer. Hole.
Oh yes, obscure Boston punk band Hole, aka that was a bootleg tape that I used to buy from record stores. They would take recordings from other places and sell them as their own. And I believe that was a radio broadcast, or no, there's a Pearl Jam one that was a radio broadcast. That's just old demos from the Live Through This era, I believe.
The last one, we're at it. We made it to the end. 5 hours later. Nothing But Enemies live on SCFF.
Yes, it's a fitting ending because that was my radio show. It was on a radio beat.
Boy, did those kids have Boston accents.
Yes.
That tape. And, it's pretty good.
Yeah, they used to be called Slimy Cunt and the Fist Fucks.
Hey!
And I have several of their t-shirts and have been at the receiving end of many dirty looks for wearing them.
So do you think like they tell their like parents like, oh, I'm in a band, we're playing out tonight, and they're like, oh, what's the name? and then they have to say it.
I think that some members of the band would. There's some members of the band who are very old, and but Nothing But Enemies. Last side note: they once did a show at the Middle East, and I forget what the name of the band. All right, you may have to remind me or look it up, but the name of the album was "Cutest Band in Hardcore," and they were a New Jersey punk band. I think that was their only record. So they played a couple of reunion shows, and Nothing But Enemies were the openers. And they asked, Chronic Sick was the name of the band. Chronic Sick. Very good record. Cutest band in hardcore. And they were playing a reunion show at the Middle East. Nothing But Enemies. A few other bands were opening up for them. And Nothing But Enemies asked me to open up for them. So I thought that I would open up by roasting all of the other bands and saying all my roast jokes were compliments about Nothing But Enemies. Like, they're so good. And it was very weird. And then I said, I'm going to do an impression of Black Sabbath. And then I just recited one of their spoken word songs, Salt on a Slug. And it was very weird. But that was one of my first comedy shows. Definitely the first time performing in front of a big audience who were somewhat confused, but they really liked my roast jokes about their friends who I didn't even know personally and who did not appreciate me making fun of them. But anyway, Nothing But Enemies live at WERS.
Yeah. And this is the end.
Cool. Well, thanks for doing the show. I don't think there's anything that we need to edit out, so I think I'm just going to put this right up on the internet and see how many compliments we can get.
And make sure to sell me more stuff to go over, because you need to produce your roast battles. And you need
of course. Roast Battle, which is I have not been paid since the last one, but Roast Battle is going to be Thursday, July 28th at 9:30 p.m. at Davis Square Theater. Will you be in attendance to watch it, Mr. James Creelman?
Right.
Well, show that night.
No, I'll be there for sure.
Yeah, right. You didn't go when Maya Manning battled Kelly Morse, and that was a battle of two people you've seen perform many times in Rhode Island, and it was fucking so funny. It was so good.
I want to go. It's just like I don't even go to Boston much to perform myself anymore.
Yeah. But this is your chance. You could do a fucking shitty open mic earlier in the night, and then you could come watch Roast Battle, and then you could go home at a really late hour. You know?
Yeah, that's good. And you can sell me some more stuff. So make sure to contact Matt Kona and say, hey, Creelman is your stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. The only time you'll come to Boston is to buy my stuff. All right. That's cool. Well, you can buy my stuff on June 28th. Although I might be going straight from work, but we'll see. If you pick me up at work and drive me home, maybe I'll tell you a few things. We'll see. But so what do you think about this for the name of the show? Under New Ownership.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
Wait, cool. What show?
So this is our new show. It wasn't just a one-time podcast. It's just
awesome.
No, I don't know. We'll see where it goes. Do you have any shows happening that you assume people watching this video till the end will also now plan on attending?
Oh yeah, I'm recording a comedy album. Can you believe that? September 19th in Fall River at a place called the Belmont.
Ooh, now the Belmont must be a recording studio, right? Is this recording studio open to the public?
It's a live. This one's a live album.
Very good. So that's September 19th at the Belmont in Fall River, Massachusetts.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Is the Belmont owned by an elderly man and his wife?
It is, correct.
Okay, cool. Or the U.S. government. Either one.
And I'm going to spray soda in their face and go, here, take that, you stupid idiot.
All right. Thank you, James. This has been great. Thank you, everyone who watched this, gave it a like, left racist YouTube comments. We appreciate your service to this country and everything that you do in life. My
Okay,
name is Matt
thanks.
Kona. Bye bye.